What's up, guys? Doing my usual morning coffee routine. Had a gig on Saturday, stayed out a little late afterwards, so yesterday I was kind of catching up on a little bit of sleep and working at my restaurant job, so I'm back at it Monday. And I had a phone conversation with somebody, a phone meeting, and we were talking about, the normal social media engagement to get a fan base, and you're doing all the right things. As soon as somebody likes, something that's posted, as soon as somebody comments, you get back to them, you try to establish some sort of a little bit more of a personal connection with them, trying to do it right away as soon as somebody likes your page, trying to have some sort of a conversation with them as soon as somebody comments on a picture. So that's all great. Now what she wasn't doing was actively going out and finding people and bringing them into her atmosphere. She didn't want to be spammy, which I totally understand. Like, we hate, getting spammed by fans too. So, but I told her, after sending all of these messages out, I've never had somebody say, "Hey, how did you find me? Leave me alone." And the reason is because I'm not just pushing and trying to sell my music to them. All right, it's just the way that I look at it is, if I sit down at a bar somewhere and one of my favorite songs comes on, and like a song that not everybody knows either, and I see somebody like singing along to it, if I went up and I was like, "Dude, you like the RX Bandits?" "Me too, that's crazy." And then we sit down and have a conversation, and then eventually say, "Oh, I'm in a band too, you might like us." That is the personal connection that we're all trying to establish, especially when music is so emotional and so heartfelt. So what I would do is, let's say a band like the RX Bandits, I would, if somebody posted a picture from one of their shows, I would, on, let's say, Twitter, because you can't, because the goal is to eventually DM, but you can't DM, obviously, on Facebook. That person needs to add you. It goes into the request folder, which I'm finding not a lot of people are checking anyway. So I would check your request folder on Facebook on your messages, just in case somebody tried to reach out to you. But it was a picture, let's say Twitter. I can like the picture, I can comment below and say, "Oh man, the RX Bandits are so good, I got to see them in Philly." Now I can leave it there, especially because the Twitter handle is obviously a band, so they could say, "Oh, Among Criminals, who are these guys?" and go find us. Or I can then continue, send them a private message and say, I love the RX Bandits too, they're so great. See, if that's where I want to leave it, or say, check us out, and throw like the Spotify link up. And like I said, I've never had somebody, think that was spam, because it's really not spam. You're actively engaging in something emotional that we all love and we all share, is our love for music. The main point to drive home there is, you want to learn this kind of stuff. Like, I always have people say, like, "Well, it's not a business, it's my art, it's heartfelt," and that's great. And I think that that's such a heartfelt way to engage with somebody. It's purely emotional. And people will say, "Well, what if I spend all that time and nobody listens?" And that's not the point. The point is just to have a conversation and be putting yourself out there in the community too. And going towards smaller niche bands, like we were always kind of talking about, staying away from the bigger bands like Coldplay and stuff like that. So I would actively engage people in that way as much as you possibly can. If somebody says that it's spam, reread the message and just see if your main intent is getting them to buy something from you, you're not really doing the right thing, and you can tell in that message. But if the main reason is to converse with them and then have them eventually check you out, that'll come across in the message. So either read the message, or that person might just not want to be bothered at all. And that's one person out of, I don't even know, I can't even tell you how many messages I sent. I don't even know. Over 2,000, I've never had somebody say anything. The worst that really happens is they just don't get back to you. So that is how you can actively reach fans without playing live on social media, having awesome conversations with new people about something that we all love, which is music. So give that a shot. Really make sure that your intention is just to have a nice conversation with somebody about music. Let me know how it goes. Let me know if you have any questions.